Hey guys, welcome back to the 7th day comic book news recap video in a nutshell. It's all the comic book news we talk about every week. I'm Adam from GeekRest, is what I meant to say.
Right, and I'm Aaron from A Comic Show.
Yeah.
And we're in a comic shop.
Yep.
And
yeah.
7 days
You can figure
is
that
7 day. 7 days of kind of light news, but we can roll with that. We're big speculators. We like to, not on comics values, but we speculate on what's going to happen because it's fun. We're both going to New York Comic Con soon, so we'll probably be able to see a lot of this play out at New York Comic Con.
Yeah, hopefully, because everything that's come out this week is, like you said, speculation. And it's weird. It's the internet age, so I find this strange, but it seems like all the speculation is started by the creators on like Twitter.
Well,
but nothing's
Twitter,
officially confirmed, but they're like, I might be going here.
Here's why all of this is going to be hashed out at Comic-Con, whether the publishers want to announce it at panels or not, is because Rich Johnson from Bleeding Cool will be there at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And he will be there at the bars, and he will know. He will find out.
They got to beat him to the punch, yeah.
He will find out. So they need to announce it. And that's probably his best thing in the comic industry, that he's going to be at the con, so the publisher's like, oh, should we hold this close to the vest and announce it? It's like, Rich Johnson's going to find out anyway. Yeah, we might as well announce it ourselves at a panel with a bunch of hoopla.
He's going to be popping out of the shadows. You might as well just do it.
So if you hate Rich Johnson and Bleeding Cool, he serves the purpose of getting you the news faster from official channels.
He does. And a lot of speculation, too.
Yeah, which I enjoy.
But what has been set in stone, just to throw it out there, a little Kirkman versus Moore.
Yes.
It's over, I guess.
K versus M.
K versus
Someone
M.
should have done that, like as a parody, like A versus X.
Someone should have a lot more fun.
Yeah, we should have had more fun.
It's been going on for 8 months, a year. But our first video is when we actually, all the legal issues started to arise with Tony Moore bringing up, he wants co-authorship, and he screwed out of royalties, and everything was only these two guys know the details of everything, and apparently now only these two guys know the details of the settlement.
I'm sure Charlie Adler knows some because it probably affects him some.
Yeah, we'll get Adler.
Yeah, he probably knows some.
Slip Rich Johnson in there and he'll tell us something.
That was basically our thing, was when we talked about it the first time, we're like, yeah, this is interesting, this is crazy, but ultimately we'll probably never know anything because it'll ultimately be settled out of court. The only time we'll get any tidbits of flare-ups is, the lawyers complain of he was a bold-faced liar that eats too many Twinkies and doesn't share them. It's like
a slander.
Yes, it was just that complaint was just a complaint. I mean, I know it's illegal things that complain, but it sounded pretty whiny and overly accusatory.
Yeah. It's done. It's done. So you don't know the details, but if you see Tony Moore cruising in a nice car,
yes,
he did all right.
So enjoy Walking Dead and enjoy Deadpool by Tony Moore.
Yeah, let's get back to reading.
And Tony Moore's such a great co-author, which I don't want to take it away from him, but our eyes on your career of what you create next, because Robert Kirkman has already created, all kinds of other stuff. Thief of Thieves, Invincible, all that stuff that he's created.
Dinosaur.
Yes, that he's created with other co-creators that he's taken care of, that are nice to him and love him and think that they've taken care of. But what has Tony Moore created? Eyes are on him to see what he creates next. With
Deadpool. I just want to see Deadpool.
No, I'm not just talking about drawing Deadpool. I'm talking about co-creating something.
Well, that will remain to be seen.
Yes. That's what our eyes are on. His Deadpool looks good, though.
It does look good. That's what I'm saying. Let's keep talking about it because I like it.
Not going to
lie. And then more speculation. Well, actually, no, this is not speculation at all. Brett Booth looks like he's going to be off of Teen Titans. This came through a tweet of his. He said he just finished up number 15, and he's moving on to his final issue.
Right. So he's done all these issues. There might have been a fill-in here or there, but he's been the artist on Titans from issue
since number 1. Yeah.
And, he did 0. And, my problem with Teen Titans isn't the art. I mean, the art, art's, whether you like that style or not. Yeah. It's like a 90s style, but with actual skill, actual perspective and anatomy. It's like, what if Rob Liefeld didn't have this enormous ego and actually went to drawing school? But anyway,
feet. Sorry.
Brett Booth, the smart money's on Nightwing.
Yeah, and then that came up, and Rob Liefeld, of course, he tweeted something immediately afterwards. He retweeted what Booth announced, and he said, "There you go, Nightwing, boom." I don't know if that's supposed to be cryptic.
he talks crap about the publishers and all that and editors and this and that and the other, and then had some dust-ups with creators. But ultimately, if you look at his Twitter feed, he actually reads the books and likes the books. I mean, sure, he can afford everything because, he's a freaking millionaire with all the royalties.
501 paid him well.
But we see that he's current on all the comics and likes to talk about them on Twitter.
He's got his finger on the pulse, so you can tell that from everything he comments on, because he comments on everything.
Right. So I think Brett Booth would be a good artist for, the acrobatic Nightwing and keep him young and fresh and, completely different than Batman. I think
cool.
That'll work. Teen Titans just needs a new writer and now it needs a new artist too. But I mean, this is my opinions,
This is speculation.
Whatever.
And Tyler Kirkham might be moving on to Nightwing. When he did the Zero, I mean not Nightwing, Teen Titans.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You are right. And he did the Zero issue. So again, there's all speculation, a lot of shuffles going around though.
He's a good artist. He's done a lot of stuff with Green Lantern Corps and then New Guardians. Worked with Tony Bedard a lot. He's good.
Yeah. And going back to Rob Liefeld, not that he's news, but he's connected to everything. It's like 6 degrees of Liefeld. The editor, the assistant editor, what's his name? Brian Smith. Smitty.
Yes.
He's been with DC for a while now, and Gail Simone loves him. And he announced that he's leaving DC, and of course Rob Liefeld twisted the knife a little bit. I think,
definitely. He's like, this guy is the reason I left, and now he's out. Oh, that's life,
Yeah.
And then someone's like, so that means you're going back to DC? He's like, no.
No, definitely not. Then Eric Larson chimed in too. He's just like, yeah, that happened to me too. Those editors.
I had a problem with the editor, and then the editor was gone in a week after I left.
Don't ruin my Savage Dragon nostalgia.
But I think of what did Larson do on DC, and it's like maybe he wasn't able to do good stuff because of the editor. That would be his thing, but I really don't remember. I mean, was it some stuff with Orion or the New Gods? I'm really not really remembering what Larson did. Maybe some Superman. I don't really remember.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
that's bad. I just remember Savage Dragon.
No, but I certainly have read DC my whole life, including that whole era. But but Brian Smith isn't just an editor or like a guy. He's
a
also
great writer.
He's a co-creator of Stuff of Legend, which is brilliant title, brilliant book, got awards or at least nominated for awards. Yep. I see who's nominated, and sometimes I can't be bothered to go to the award show or look at who actually won. I know who I would want to win, and then I don't want to be disappointed when the wrong people win. But,
right. It's like sports.
Right.
And then hopefully he'll be moving on to some indie projects of his own. That's cool. And Paul Pelletier?
Yes, he's signed at this store, and I've talked to him. I'm friendly with him. He's a great guy, but like a lot of times, I just don't pronounce his last name because it's like Pelletier or Pelletier. I don't know, and he'd probably say it depends on how you want to pronounce it. If you want to pronounce it more French or more bastardized American.
Choose your own for bastard Americans.
Yeah,
say
Pelletier.
Pelter. Go Paul P. But this is again another little rumor that he's leaving Marvel to go to DC for a specific project with Geoff Johns.
Which I would leave Marvel to work with Geoff Johns.
Leave whatever they're doing to go with it.
And this is more of like the new thing on for Marvel and DC is years ago, just a few years ago, like even just like 1 year ago, there was this big thing of like exclusives and this war of getting exclusive contracts to tie this artist down, this writer down, this and this and this.
Definitely.
And now it's more about just getting the books out monthly, and we'll take whoever we can get to get these out. So there's less of a push on the exclusive artists, and but Paul has been an exclusive artist for them that actually has churned out 12 books a month. He was doing Hulk, he's doing Wolverine, he was doing Guardians of the Galaxy, he's doing like any cosmic anything. I mean, this dude rocks, and I hope to see him on some kind of cosmic thing, some kind of Green Lantern thing. But whatever he's doing with Geoff Johns, it's gonna be good. He's a solid guy.
With Geoff Johns writing, I can't see them being a bad team up.
And the fact that he lives close to here means that I'll have him in here for a signing.
Yeah.
Not Johns, Paul.
I got to go look at a local phone book and try to pronounce his name correctly.
Yes.
That wouldn't help at all, but and a little bit of movie news, because the comic book speculation, we don't know nothing. We're just talking here.
We know something.
We know some things, but we're gonna wait for New York to ground it. Mark Millar, this was a big news. It's the biggest, most exciting news of his career, his life. This is what he said.
The biggest news of his career would be him completely stopping the use of hyperbole.
Yeah.
But barring that, this is pretty big.
He's going to be the Marvel consultant for 20th Century Fox. Not Marvel Studios, not Disney. These are the guys who own the rights for Fantastic Four and the X-Men properties. You know, they're filming Wolverine right now.
Not Daredevil anymore.
No Daredevil. That sucks because he could have probably consulted a little bit cool.
Yeah, he could have
gritty
done
Daredevil. But he's going to be their consultant for all future adaptations. I'm assuming that means whether they branch out to animation
really weird.
in addition to film. And
this is just my pet peeve, but I just wish they would have negotiated better and say like, all right, you can keep Daredevil and you can keep Fantastic Four because we know we're not getting that, but can you just give us Silver Surfer for our whole Thanos battle?
They need a little Galactus.
Just give us Silver Surfer and Galactus for fighting the Avengers, and and Silver Surfer for Thanos and all that, and Guardians of the Galaxy, and then have fun with your Daredevil remake.
Have fun with the lawyer, the blind lawyer in the corner over there.
Not that I don't think Marvel's going to kick ass on Daredevil. I just, the second I saw Thanos on the screen, I was instantly like, oh my god, this is amazing.
A million doors flew open.
And the fanboy means all excited, and I remember all the times he had fought Surfer.
Right.
And then I got this rush of reality of, oh, but Silver Surfer is Fantastic Four owned by Fox.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's not going to be good, but it's just like, like the Frosted Mini Wheats, like the Frosted side is like, ooh, Thanos and Surfer, and then the Fiber side's like, oh, lawyers and Fox and Marvel. But
get Kirkman's
anyway,
on it immediately.
If putting Mark Millar on creative consultant for Fox, I think is a good thing because obviously
history.
Some of their stuff, Elektra was poop. Wolverine Origins, I did not like it. Just the story had so many holes and things in the plot just pulling me out. And
didn't do some of the characters justice to like Deadpool, namely.
Yeah, but just plot holes. Like if the one chick can tell the dude to go take a long walk of a short pier and he has to, why didn't she tell the dude that was using her for like a decade or two to like have sex with Wolverine to trick him? Just tell him like, hey, you go, kill yourself. Like if that's her power. I mean, just weird things pull me out. And Wolverine has all these hyper senses, but like he was somehow tricked that she was dead, even though he has hyper senses.
Right. Yeah.
Like, come on.
Didn't work.
I mean,
Didn't believe it.
I've willing suspended disbelief to believe about the regeneration and all these powers. But once you believe in the powers have to make sense with the plot.
Yeah. So
having said that,
hopefully he'll
go
bring
Mark
some
Millar.
authenticity to it. Yeah, he's got a history writing, and he's got Kick-Ass 2 is filming, Nemesis is in production, so he's familiar with the terrain of getting it done on film. We'll see.
And his name should bring a lot of positivity from fanboys and willing, just benefit of the doubt from fanboys, where that early negativity can really sour a project.
Right.
And. With his name and his hyperbole.
Yeah,
maybe.
He's going to sell himself
right
well enough. And the final little bit of thing, movie news, not a huge thing, but it's fun. Iron Man 3, there were some photos that showed up. Somebody got the crew set, hat, and it's got the 10 Rings logo on there. So people are excited. I mean, it's not a huge leap to think that they'd put him back in there because they teased him in like the first movie as far as like a name in the background. 10 Rings.
10 Rings rule them all.
Yeah, but now Mandarin's in the third movie, so I want to see some sorcery. I want to see some magic. I want to see some ring power here.
Yeah, versus technology.
Yeah.
Not just, technology versus technology, but...
I mean, they're already doing Extremis and all this other stuff, so it's going to be a big package of stuff to squeeze into a movie, but that'd be awesome. And I was having a discussion with a guy who's like, no, they can't do that. That's that's not Iron Man. That's too he's more grounded. And I'm like, did you see the Avengers? Do you see where he's coming from?
He works
they
in
can
that.
Have this.
Like he works in that all these crazy things can be happening, and you're like right when you're thinking this is stupid, Tony Stark's like, this is stupid. And you like have this like,
all right, I'm in it now.
All right, I'm still
I'm not the only one.
Right.
And
he just, he's like, methinks you wear your mother's drapes. And it's like, tension release. Okay, I'll go with that kind of corniness. And now it's going to get back sassy again.
Sassy Stark.
Okay.
That's it. And that's pretty much all the speculation for the week.
Yeah. Next week is going to be before New York Comic Con?
Again, so we'll see.
Picture us with less news next week, but after New York Comic Con.
But more fun.
Maybe I'll even make him shoot something at New York Comic Con.
Oh, you have to make me. Yeah.
Twist his arm.
Everything will be at New York. So, including us. That's it. Thanks for tuning in. Facebook and Twitter, as always. Follow us. And see you next week.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Adios.